Yes, I was walking alone in the darkness. Hello, lovers of life. How are you? Welcome to my channel once again. My name is Launa K, or rather, let me say Launa Kavenangoto. So I am a Namibian Youtuber, and thank you for tuning in once again. Last time I have posted kind of a series. It was like in 3 segments, 1, 2, and 3. Even though I did not name them as accordingly, because I was kind of all over the place, because I have to get rid of or lay a foundation of what is to come, so that you guys would understand me more or get to know where I come from and where I am heading to. So guys, please, you may forgive me because there's a little bit of reflection, and so I try to make it as better as possible, but this is what I'm getting now, so bear with me. We are getting there. Once we hit 1,000K, guys, we'll be able to have better gadgets or better cameras, ring light. So like now we're just depending on the natural light. So back to the purpose of this video. But you know what? Before, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that red button. I think it's going to be this side. Don't forget to hit the red button, and then don't forget to press the bell button, the ding 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 ding, so that you are notified any video whenever we have a video out. Okay. Yeah, and don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. I appreciate everybody who leaves a comment. Might it be a longer paragraph, a shorter one. I really appreciate it, because it really shows me that you are going through the videos, and it really shows me that, you know, my video are really meaningful. Okay, yeah, so today I've just come to you with yet another story. Story time. You know why I love sharing stories is, even when I go to the north, guys, I like to sit with older people and just find out our origin, who are we, and this is how I came to realize that in our bloodline, in my mother's side, we are actually royals. We are female kings. Our great grandmother was a royal, was a female queen, actually a female queen. And then recently I just find out that from my father's side, we are also from the royal family, from the Ovambaja family, tip in Angola. So guys, no wonder I am called princess. It's not just by incident. Number one, being a princess in the kingdom of our Father God, and the royalty just run in our blood. So yeah, as I say, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment below. So today is yet another story time. Okay, excuse me guys, I'm having sinuses, and yeah, okay, guys, today we are going to talk about let me just check my book. I'm trying to be as disciplined as possible. So we are having the topics lined up. My adoption story is going to be the story today. It's long overdue. Shout out to Ndambe Kotokeni or Salome Kotokeni. Please go to her channel. It's more for the young ones, and she's a Namibian YouTuber, also living in the EAU, and yeah, she's a daughter of the house. So she and the rest, they requested me to share on my adoption story. So we are going to share about that today, and then we are trusting the Lord to share in the next story about my life as a nanny, and my life as a cashier, and many others. Okay, Yeah, so that is basically the lineup. So that is what you'll be hearing, I think, from the first week, or maybe first week of August or two, or before that. So guys, as you have listened to my stories, okay guys, please, that teddy bear you see, I am just using my daughter's room, our youngest daughter room. So I just thought this story will suit well to do it in her room. Okay. Yeah. And we had a house renovation. For those who can remember my previous video, those doors of the wardrobe were brown, like dark brown, and the walls were kind of beige-ish, dirty-ish, and the roof, the ceilings were dirty. So yeah, so we have done the renovation, and we now can proudly, do our shooting anytime, everywhere in the house. So guys, I'm in her room. Okay, she is Titilayo Nalisa on YouTube. Titilayo Nalisa, please shout out to her, and please also go and check her out. Okay. Yeah, guys, for those who have listened my story about my adoption story, you have listened, you have watched, I wish I knew how to do the link, whatever, but yeah, it's coming, guys. It's coming. I could have said, please check the link down, or yeah, as the professionals like to say, but now I'm just an ordinary storyteller sharing with you to probably learn from my story and see that there is hope, to learn from my story and realize that you cannot break down, you can just pick yourself up, and to listen to my story that, my purpose of sharing is to just inspire, encourage, motivate, empower somebody who is sitting there and say like, hey, I'm done. No, you are not done. You are just starting. And there is another story also I did not mention here. I just want to bring it like boom, like that, yeah. So I know it's going to shock many, but guys, as you have listened to my introduction video, that this channel is going to be about candid story. No, it's going to be about faith, candid story, and vlogs. Faith, candid stories, candid talks. We are going to speak what is real. We are not going to use too much of other people's stories, but we are going to use much of me. That is why they call it his story, like history. For those who are in school and have been in school, there's a subject called history. So meaning a history of that particular country or that particular person, his story, only a story of that person, that country, that, yes, so my story. Okay, guys. Yeah, as I've told you, 1989, I fell pregnant with my daughter after I had backslidden from my commitment to Christ. And I fell pregnant. I got my child. And my story goes like this. Guys, when I fell pregnant, I gave birth. So I think when my daughter was like 8 months or something, my mother took me to the hospital with the intention for me to be injected. And guys, I remember it was Depo that have injected me. So, but I would not want to say that this has caused the infertility, because we already have a natural history in my bloodline. So mommy took me to the hospital, and I understand her point of view is a fear of me probably falling to another pregnancy and giving her a burden of which she is not ready to bear, a burden of becoming a grandmother of one. And imagine I was the third born, and I gave birth, at 17 or 16 plus, and gave birth at 17. So, it was really something that I understand her reason, but when she took me there, they injected me, and that was the first and the last. I think that was probably excuse me, my nose are just kind of blocked. I think that was around about maybe 91 late, yeah. So, and then I came from there. So the nurses told me, yeah, you must be coming back after 3 months. Guys, I haven't gone back. But here is the story. So life moved on. I got involved with one or two guys without using a contraceptive, no pills or injection. And that was the last injection that I've ever used. So I stayed like that. So, and guys, I just did not conceive, I just did not conceive. And for somebody who is single, who is young, who is not ready to have more children, it was not an issue for me not to conceive. It was a bonus, having a guy, and you are not falling pregnant. It was a bonus. But I remember as time was going on, I remember when I turned I think when I turned 19, I found myself in a relationship, and of which I thought maybe I could have another child, but I was just not conceiving. So I went to the hospital, to the same hospital, and because I started having movements in my stomach, feeling like there's a baby and things like that. Going to the hospital, they tell me, no, you are not pregnant, you are just fine. Okay, but deep in my mind, I started getting worried that I am, in a relationship once again, and I'm not using contraceptive, so something must be wrong. But then I was not really putting my hands too much on it, nor my thoughts too much on it, because you were kind of wanting to have a second child, but you're a little bit irresponsible, you are not ready, and things like that. And yeah, so guys, I'll try to make this video as short as possible. Yes, but I know if you love me, guys, my old subscribers, I know you'll watch this to the end, because we also need the watch hours, we need the watch minutes, we need it, and we need them, please. And if you're a new subscriber, thank you for coming. Please don't only watch but subscribe, please. Thank you so much, and the Lord will bless you. So then I stayed like that. But then okay, when I gave my life back to Christ, long story short, then I'm like, okay, then it's fine, it's okay. Wow. I was like, oh, praise God, I did not get a second child. It was like a show off, while my other peers were getting like 3 children already. Okay, guys, now when I got involved with my ex-husband, so and definitely in the whole world, or by nature, when you get married, you feel like, okay, I have settled, and so can I just as long as just have my children and so on, whether a basketball team or a soccer team, so I am cool, guys. Then we were married for the first year, 94. We got married around November. Okay, it's okay. Then going to 95, guys, I'm just not conceiving. And when I went to the doctor, I kind of saw, they took my blood count and everything, and they told me another result, of which I will come and share it in a different segment. So, and they told me like that, but I was like, okay, what does this have to do with my fertility or conception? So 96, I could not conceive, and 97, guys, this is how I got again into the hands of the doctor, and they did first a laparoscopy and like operation through my navel. It did not happen, and then they realized I've got multiple of fibroids. But then I realized the day when I gave birth to my daughter, I realized the doctor taking out my placenta or whatever it was, and he was whistling like, wow, I wonder how did this baby survived in the stomach. And it was something filled with with lumps, you know. And so I didn't know that that was actually fibroids. So which means I had fibroids probably from maybe when I don't know. I was listening to a story of a dear woman, is a woman of God, is a pastor, Igodalo, the surname is Igodalo, may her soul rest in peace. And she was speaking of how she realized that she actually started having fibroids from the age that she was 16, and she died. She passed on at almost 40, and she could not conceive, and she found herself in a group of fertility people or mothers or women, and she was able to adopt two beautiful children, a boy and a girl. The other one that looked like her. And you know, I was like, if I had known this woman before when she was in life, and I kept watching this woman, and she did a lot of things for humanity in exchange of just telling the devil, my infertility does not mean that I cannot serve God. And I really love that woman. May her soul rest in peace. It's like she is gone, but her legacy lives on. May Pastor Igodalo, please soul rest in peace. And I speak comfort to the family and the children. So when I watch this woman's story, is like I get to understand myself. Let me tell you, dear people, you know, when you find yourself married, guys, and you tried, you know, people like to say maybe the way you have sex together as a couple, maybe it's the cause that you are not conceiving. They will tell you different styles, and you go to the doctor, they will give you pills, those 5 days pills. They would give you a lot of stuff. There's IVF, and the list goes on, because they are trying to give you a reason and to accept that the challenge is with you. But I am also happy for those kind of doctors or specialists that are ready to tell you what it is. So guys, so 97, I went through the operation or the surgery. It was really hectic, and they told us, yes, immediately, few days after, you can conceive. Who can have or who can do whatever can be done to conceive? Your wound is just raw. And then when you go back, they'll tell you, yeah, the reason is because you didn't do it, you know, immediately after the operation. You know, there's just a lot of stuff that was around my infertility issues, guys. So then 97, we went to the doctor. I spoke in the previous video. I think I spoke in riddles, where I went to the doctor, and the doctor told me that number one reason why you cannot have children is because of this epidemic, and number two, you must thank God that you got your child while you were very young, because that is the stage where fibroids start growing in a person, and many of them fall prey to not having children. So this has given me kind of peace, even though it was a struggle, even though I felt like I've lost the battle of being a mother for the second time again. So guys, so then my ex-husband, as I told you in the previous video, he was a good soul. He was not a bad person. It's only that we were probably not meant to be together. So then we started trying, and this is how we came to a doctor, a specialist, Dr. Kimberg, and he told us it seems like my ex-husband had a low sperm count, but now that I'm a little bit informed, I want to understand that we were not compatible. Our blood groups were just not meant for us to have a child together. And it's just, I don't know how to call it, because I'm not in medical field, but yes. So, and they tried to do all the things, but we just could not conceive. So the drawing line came here when the doctor told us, excuse me, when the doctor told us that, you guys, we need to send you to Cape Town to go and do IVF, and the operation or the surgery cost you like 45,000. That was now 20 years ago. So then my ex decided, no, he's not going to buy a child, because they understand they are going to buy a child. He's not going to do whatsoever. And this is how it ended. And I think this is when the birth of divorcing me and wanting to marry somebody else was started to be birthed in his mind. So guys, then we stayed. So 99, we gave it a try again. Yeah, so I went through another surgery. This one was major, because apparently I went in like 6:30 and I was able to just resurrect around 11 o'clock. So my mom came in, and she was just like saying, maybe she was told, and my mom came on when I was laying on the bed, and she told me, my daughter, I think it's enough. You tried your best, and you cannot, they understand you cannot buy a child. You cannot put money in just for you to get a child and to risk your life. So I think she told me it's enough. So guys, we went home again, and still no avail. So and guys, I went through psychological trauma. I started having depression, and I had a maid in the house who was making fun of it. She started sleeping with my ex-husband. Not only one maid, not only the other maid, the girls that I was accommodating to just give them that love, because they give their life to Christ and they cannot be accommodated to their places because of the faith. Guys, people think when you are not conceiving, they feel you have made a choice to not conceive. Guys, we don't choose to not conceive. We don't choose. I cannot say maybe my conception was due to the injection that I have taken. I cannot put it on that, because remember, when I gave birth, the doctor were whistling and saying they wonder how did the baby survive. And remember, the other doctor also, 7 years down the line, telling me, you are actually fortunate to have given birth at this age. So this must have been something that no human being have control over it. Remember, in the Bible, when the wife of David, started complaining about how he is dancing and worshiping God. Remember, the Bible says that woman, till her death, God shuttered her womb. And remember when Hannah was going through fertility issues, how Penina was laughing at her and so on. But God had a purpose with Hannah's, womb. And when he opened the womb, God, allowed her to have a child that was going to be one of the greatest prophets in Israel. So God had a beautiful purpose why he does what he does. And I believe not even the devil has the power to close us completely, if not with a permission, if not with a permission, if not with the allowance of God. So guys, God is in charge of our womb, and we cannot discriminate when somebody is not giving birth and something like that. So guys, this is actually my story and my journey. And I remember when we are going to make part 1 of these 2 and 3. I remember, guys, going to Bible school 98 before I went through the surgery. I remember being in the dorm and I was talking to God. I just was watching news and they were talking about dumping of babies. Guys, I went to God in the bathroom. I was speaking. I was saying, God, you are just unfair. People are giving birth and they are dumping babies. And I'm here asking you. And I was just saying, God, remember when I was not serving you, when I was not married, you allowed me to have a child, and now that I'm married, who was talking? It was the spirit of pride. It was the spirit of disobedience. Who am I to decide when God to give me a child and when not to give me a child? Guys, the devil meant to disgrace me through being raped by the father of my child and the uncle, even though he doesn't want to accept it. I mean, what do you call when somebody come on you, force themselves on you, having sex on you without your consent? How do you call that? Is that not rape? And guys, and now you are married, and also not a marriage that you really was processed the way you wanted, and you decided to settle, and your womb is just not opening up. I mean, and now you have the right to come and say she does not want to have a child. She had a child before and she doesn't want to have a child. What is she up to and things like that. Guys, We must stop being hard on people who are not giving birth. Is not, most of them is not because they want it. They have a reason why. Even for a woman who is having children and they are using contraceptive, they also know why. We must stop, opening our mouth more around people's fertility issues, conception, and their birth control and everything. We don't have the right. But guys, I'll see you in the next episode of this my adoption story. But for now, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and leave a comment. I will see you on the other side. I love you and God bless you. Please, let's go on the other side.